It's 6 minutes now to 5 o'clock. If you've seen some of the footage of the Hospital of Hope, the part of the Cape Town International Convention Centre, which has been converted into a hospital space, which at its peak will be able to host 862 patients, you will have seen above every bed is a rainbow. And those rainbows were installed, I believe, last Friday. And those rainbows were drawn by children who attend the Raylham Prep School in Sunningdale. Colleen Millar is Executive Head and Director at Raylham. Hello, Colleen.
Hi, John. Thanks for having us on the show.
Great pleasure. I love the rainbows. I mean, the rainbows have been such a meme throughout this. I remember right in the very beginning of the lockdown, walking down a pavement. I think it was probably even before the lockdown, because I was walking on a pavement in Rosebank, and their young children had drawn rainbows on the pavement. It was so beautiful. Yeah. How did it come about that your children designed rainbows for the CTICC?
Well, John, it actually was the idea of one of our parents, Nicola Lochner. And she approached us and she said that she once saw a documentary about the Ebola outbreak and how many people there were suffering alone with nothing to inspire them in makeshift medical facilities. And so she thought, well, obviously we're entering a similar sort of situation. And so she approached us and she said, would we be interested in doing something like that? And so our art edumental teacher, Marsha Ungra, then took the project and ran with it. What she did was, because obviously we've been doing an online program at home, and, you know, some children are confident with art and others not as much. So she coordinated in such a way that she drew templates for them that the children could continue with the drawing. And so those that are not always that comfortable could participate. So we had over 400 students participate, either physically drawing it or drawing it on their iPad, and they produced 852 pictures. But what was quite remarkable was that they did it about a 6-day turnaround, you know, and then we had to laminate it. So we had very generous parents that sponsored the laminating and ran around for us. So it was an effort by many, many people, you know, but it was Nicola's initiative.
And my Nicola on the other side of the glass is taking some credit here. It's not you, Nicola Bruns. Got nothing to do with it. I mean, obviously, some of the pictures have more aesthetic value than others, but it's one of those things. The colours are bright. It's a rainbow, for goodness sake. It is a message of hope and of optimism and of brightness and of sunshine at a time when those are things which, you know, sort of metaphorically are in short supply. I mean, I can imagine that if I were, because the hospital is being used primarily for people who are on their way out of the hospital system. They've been in critical care, they are recovering, but they still need some hospital treatment, so they're taken along the Hospital of Hope. I can imagine lying in a bed and looking around me at all the rainbows on the walls and going, yes, I like the look of that.
Yeah, and the kiddies stamp their own identity on it, you know, so which makes them unique. Whilst there was an initial template, it makes it really unique. And so you're right, it's, you know, it's colour and hope combined. And, yeah, I think it's a really wonderful initiative for our kiddies to be involved in too, besides the staff, you know.
It's not the only hospital space in the province. Are there plans to extend it, or is this now, it's been done?
Wow, John. I think we just got through putting them up on Friday, and sort of we haven't taken it further. But that's an interesting question, actually, because it might be something that, besides ourselves, other schools could get involved with, you know, because it's meaningful. And the impact that the children can have and what they feel that they can have, I think, is significant. So that's a worthwhile question, something we need to think about, because I know the kids were excited to do it, so I'm sure that they'd be very interested in carrying on with something like that, but we hadn't thought further, no.
And grade 7s, do you have all of your grade 7s back, or have some parents decided to keep them at home for a while longer or homeschool them till the end of the year?
Yeah, John, so I'd say we've got about 50% of the kids back. We did a survey with the parents to determine. We're quite a tech-oriented school, so it's trial and error, but we've had quite a strong online program. And so I think that's also assisted parents in feeling comfortable with the online program at home. So what we have at the moment now with them returning, the 50%, is we've got a hybrid model. So it's half on-site and half online as well. So we've had about a 50% return.
Colleen Millar, thanks very much for talking to us this afternoon, and congratulations to the Nicola who came up with the idea and everybody who drove it to a very successful conclusion. Colleen is Executive Head and Director at Raylham Prep, that's in Sunningdale.